Good morning and welcome to the biggest event in Kansas City's recent transportation history. Today is a day that we break ground on Kansas City's downtown streetcar line. It's a day that we get on board with a new dynamic mindset when it comes to transportation in Kansas City. Progressive, vibrant cities provide public transportation to residents and to visitors. And breaking ground today on the downtown streetcar sends a signal that Kansas City gets transportation. We want more residents downtown and in our city, period. We absolutely want and need more visitors. And we're ready to make the right and smart investments to accomplish those goals. We have a few people lined up to make a few brief comments today. And after their remarks, you're going to be able to see pavement peeled back and ground being moved in order to get started with our streetcar. You'll see the workers actually doing their thing. So you might want to go ahead and get your Twitter accounts open and your cameras ready. But first and foremost, I'd really like to invite up my good friend and colleague, Russ Johnson, who has worked tirelessly on this project. He's been a transit advocate in Kansas City for years, and that is one of the reasons he is the chair of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Russ?
But with that in mind, Washington, D.C.'s East Side 8th Street corridor, a once bustling commercial district that was home to D.C.'s flagship Sears and Roebuck store, sat for 4 decades, essentially abandoned with burned out and vacant buildings. In 2004, planning began to put a streetcar on 8th Street. The 8th Street streetcar is now all but finished and is scheduled to begin operations later this year. Since the planning of the 8th Street streetcar began, the revitalization of 8th Street is undeniable. Decrepit buildings have been transformed. A major grocery store, Whole Foods, is on its way. USA Today has dubbed 8th Street as one of its 10 up-and-coming neighborhoods. This year's 8th Street Festival drew a record crowd of 100,000. And in the last 5 years, the number of vacant properties in the 8th Street corridor has shrunk from 50% to 15%. Let me say that again. In the last 5 years, the number of vacant properties in the 8th Street corridor has shrunk from 50% to 15%. In today's Kansas City Star, you can read about yet another new construction project in the long list of developments that are occurring near Kansas City's streetcar line. The latest one is a $50 million new apartment complex at 2nd and Delaware. And in the words of the developer, Jonathan Arnold, quote, "When the streetcar was announced, we decided to expand and gain site control of the entire block," end quote. Not my words, not the mayor's words, Jonathan Arnold's words. Friends, I am here to tell you the results are in. Streetcars are catalyst investments that produce real and significant neighborhood revitalization and redevelopment here in Kansas City and elsewhere. If you do not believe it, your eyes are closed, your ears are shut. The sun rises in the east, the world is round. Men walked on the moon, and streetcars deliver economic development. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Very much appreciated. We're happy to have here with us today a good friend and our county executive, Mike Sanders. One of the things I appreciate about Mike is that he has taken the long view of governance in so many different ways. One of the ways in which he's taken the long view is regarding transportation. He has been the driving force behind the whole idea and concept of a commuter rail line that will unite the eastern part of Jackson County and other counties to the heart of the city. He has done a tremendous job. He's continuing to work on that. We're proud to be partners with him in that endeavor and proud to have him here to speak to you today.
I want to start off by thanking Mayor James and thanking Councilman Johnson. When you think about what it takes to begin this line, what it takes for the groundbreaking that we have here today, it takes a man that was willing to really literally jump off the curb and lead in this community, and that's Mayor James. I think we all owe him a big round of applause for starting this project and seeing it through. And when you talk about leadership, leadership's not easy. If it was easy to have major mass transit in Kansas City, we'd already have it. But through his leadership, through Councilman Johnson's leadership and the City Council's leadership, we're hearing this groundbreaking today. And this is a groundbreaking for the future of Kansas City, because we have to ask ourselves, What kind of community do we want to have 10 years from now, 20 years from now, or 30 years from now? And it's cities with vibrant mass transit, with rail transit, that are going to be those cities that are going to develop and have an eye towards the future and grow for the future. So today is not the end of the beginning, it is the beginning. It's the beginning for us, but we have many miles to go, but what a beginning this is.
The Port Authority is proud to be partnering with the city in bringing the streetcar to Kansas City. On behalf of my board and staff of the Port Authority, I want to thank the city for the opportunity to be part of bringing this long-time dream to fruition. It helps the Port Authority fulfill its mission of bringing economic vitality to the city through commerce, transportation, and development. In particular, I want to thank the Mayor and Councilman Johnson for their leadership and vision throughout this project. It's an exciting time to be living in and around downtown. As I was driving into work today down Main Street, past UMKC, the Plaza, Crown Center, it was easy to see why the excitement for this project needs to expand and why the project itself needs to grow and expand beyond the starter route. I also want to quickly thank my board. I think today we have here Dan Fowler, Shamari Benton, Dana Gibson, John Fierro, and Linda Clark. And I also want to quickly thank our president and CEO, Michael. And with that, I just want to thank everybody for coming out today.
You know, we've saved the most important stakeholder for last, and that's a downtown resident, Miss Patience Jones. Patience is a partner at Graphic Machine Incorporated, and she and her husband live and work in the River Market area. She also lends her talents to the marketing committee on the Streetcar Authority. Her story is both compelling and as well as her love for Kansas City. And Patience?
I hope I can live up to that very, very nice introduction. Mr. Mayor, councilmen and women, and fellow Kansas Cityans, good morning. I am so very excited about the streetcar, and I am grateful to have the opportunity to talk a little bit today about that. As the mayor said, my husband Brian and I moved here from New York City almost 4 years ago. We had no family or friends living here, and we didn't move because we had to. We moved because we wanted to. When people in Kansas City hear that we opted to leave New York to come here, they usually respond with some variation of, "Really? Why?" That is the wrong reaction. The right reaction is, "Of course you did, because Kansas City is awesome." The first time I ever saw Kansas City, which was not long before we moved here, I fell in love instantly. I saw a city filled with art and design, a city where small businesses were meaningfully supported, a city with world-class museums and libraries and cultural institutions, an ethnically, racially, and religiously diverse city, a city where the food is so good you could cry, a city where entrepreneurship and technology abound. What better place, then, for a radically innovative approach to improving public transit? The Kansas City streetcar will not only provide an environmentally responsible, cost-effective, enjoyable way for people to travel around the city and connect with each other, but it also elevates our city to a new level nationally and internationally. The streetcar makes it easier for us to attract new residents, people like me, who are looking for a forward-thinking, modern place where they can be part of a community and contribute to making the city even better. On behalf of the residents of Kansas City, especially those of us who live and work downtown, I would like to thank all the people who worked so tirelessly to make the streetcar a reality, especially Mayor James and Councilman Johnson. There were many points along the way where everybody could have just given up and said, "Well, we tried." But the thing I love the most about Kansas City is that this is just not what we do. We do not give up. We do not say, "Let someone else do it," and good enough has never been good enough for us. The streetcar is a physical reminder of that indomitable spirit that makes this a world-class city and the place I chose to make my home. I plan to ride the streetcar several times a day, and I look forward to seeing you there too. Thank you.
Well, it's always great to hear a resident say such nice things about the city, and for whatever reason, we tend to take those words a little more seriously when it's somebody who's new to the area instead of somebody who's grown up. But she is just articulating what every resident of Kansas City basically feels. So thank you very much, Patience. Very much appreciate it. This streetcar project is not simply about concrete and steel. It's really about people as well. The streetcar will connect people in ways that haven't been connected in decades. Our residents will be more easily able to reach their jobs and destinations from their homes, and the places where they spend their free time will become much more accessible to them. Visitors can move about the downtown corridor with ease, and who knows, maybe they'll fall in love with the city like Patience did and decide to stay as well. Today we begin our streetcar journey with its first phase that includes upgrades to our century-old water and sewer system, and we are doing that in conjunction and coordinating so that we are getting two things done simultaneously: replacing the century-old water and sewer system while we're laying the rails for the streetcar. That's a good return on the investment, and that's a smart way to do business. Here's an interesting fact for you. A lot of the pipes that will be laid on this route were made from recycled car parts. And I hope that they were good parts when they were recycled. So today we're going to start taking some cars off the road and putting them underground. This is a huge day for Kansas City because we are redefining what transportation means in this city and what it looks like and how it can impact neighborhoods. Even before the pavement is peeled, over 30 new or renovation projects are worth over $750 million of investment are taking place downtown in the areas on and adjacent to the streetcar line. That tells me something is happening. That tells me that the economic development that we knew would happen is in fact happening. And that tells us that we should continue to do this and bring prosperity to other parts of our city. So before I close, I'd like to recognize a very special person, a person who has seen streetcars before and wants to see them again. That's Mr. John Donnell. He was actually a streetcar operator before our city became obsessed with cars. And by the way, Mr. Donnell celebrated his 100th birthday earlier this week. Mr. Donnell is right here in front.
I'm John Donnell. I guess I'm the only streetcar man still alive. I drove those streetcars after they went out, and then I've driven the buses the rest of the time. I was there 36 years, and I've been retired now 36 years. But I enjoy being here today with everyone. I enjoy it so much, and I'm also glad to hear that this here railway is going to be started again. I think it'd be wonderful for the people. It'll be a good thing for them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us. I want to thank Mr. Darnell for being here. That's an important story. I mean, think about it. Streetcars ended in this city in 1957. He was there when it ended. He's now here again when it starts over again. Thank you for being our bridge, sir. Before we move on, there's another important event happening today that cannot be ignored. This is the Thursday before Memorial Day, and traditionally we celebrate those fallen police officers who have given their lives in the performance of their job duties. So with that being in mind, and in order to make sure that we recognize our entire city, please observe a moment of silence. Thank you all very much. It is important that we remember that this city is very complex and that the people who work for the police and fire departments are people that we rely on every day. So this is a day to not only celebrate our successes, but to remember those who contributed to our successes in the past, and those are our fallen police officers. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be with us here today, and now Chris Hernandez is going to give us some instructions on where we should all stand for the groundbreaking.
Thank you. Okay, folks, this is it. This is the real moment.